have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I want to talk about life now. And this is information coming from lifenews.com. Lifenews.com is a great source. It says it is ironic but telling that the new head of Planned Parenthood is a physician. Abortion is one of the rare exceptions in the medical field where advancements in scientific knowledge have done little, very little, to change the debate. When Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973, there was no ultrasound technology to reveal the essential humanity of the human child in the womb. There was no fetal surgery to correct physical defects like spina bifida while a baby is still in the womb. And yet, despite what we have learned in the past 4.5 decades, abortion remains, in large part, an American institution built on a foundation of lies and promoted with a web of euphemisms. So, lie number one, it isn't really a human being. This is usually commingled with other misstatements or grievous misunderstandings, like it's just a fetus. It cannot live on its own. Or it's just a glob of tissue. Well, did you know fetus in Latin means offspring? The fact that a child not yet born cannot survive on its own makes it no different from a newborn. A newborn cannot survive without someone taking care of it. So another lie, children should be wanted. I have heard this one numerous times. A recent Planned Parenthood ad featured a slow-mo video of a beautiful baby girl. The girl's adorable giggles are heard as she smiles at the camera, and a music box lullaby plays in the background. Interspersed with the video are 3 written taglines. She deserves to be loved. She deserves to be wanted. She deserves to be a choice. So I guess she deserves to be dead, because that's the other choice, isn't it? The message generated outrage. The beautiful child should be able to be killed unless she was planned. Number 3, pro-lifers only care about babies until they are born. You know, we're only worried about that one aspect. But that's not true. It's not true at all. Abortion advocates want to attack that. They want to believe that we would have them just leave that child in an unwanted situation. But that's not the truth. There are many, many people who would love to have one of those children. Okay, before we go and finish these, we do have some phone calls. We're going to go to Dennis in Illinois. Dennis, real quickly, what's on your mind?
Thank you, Beth Ann. I've been following a story here with Dr. Jerome Corsi, and I'm very upset what I'm hearing coming from the Mueller investigation. Jerome Corsi, in my opinion, right now is a political prisoner.
Oh, yeah,
of this
exactly.
country. Mm-hmm. And I think it needs to be affirmed and spoken, because this puts everybody on notice. If you're a public figure, including yourself, Beth Ann, that they could come to you, the FBI, and if you wobble on anything, you're charged. I am very concerned, as I have been in the past, with the direction that this country is going and its leadership, and how we have to be the answer to it. And I know you believe that too, and I'll leave that with you and hear your comments offline.
Okay. Well, I've already kind of mentioned that, Dennis, but yes, it is up to we the people. We're the ones that were apathetic and let this happen, and we're the ones that are going to have to get serious. I heard here a week and a half ago on the news that they believe that the women of the suburbs are the ones that President Donald Trump cannot seem to win over. And I believe that I can talk to the women of the suburbs. And so I want to be that voice. I'm going to need help doing that, though. But I want to be that voice because I believe I can give them a voice that they don't understand. If they're only listening to one side of the story, if they're only watching mainstream media, if they're only listening to the Democrats saying they're going to give them free stuff, and some of the Republicans, then they're condemning their children to socialist slavery. We'll be the ones trying to get across the border somewhere one day. So you know how I feel about it, Dennis, and we are the answer. We're going to go quickly to Larry. Larry in Missouri.
Hey, Beth. You don't understand worry about that wall Trump wants to build. I wouldn't just make Mexico pay for it. I'd make everybody that came through that up through there, like El Salvador and Honduras, and any country had sent people up through that border. I'd find a loophole, make them pay for that wall.
You know, all of Congress are millionaires now. Maybe they ought to pay for it.
Yeah. Agree with that.
I think they ought to pay for it. Yeah, I agree with you. It's got to be done. But a wall,
Trump does that says they're going to deadlock the whole thing.
But just a wall is not going to fix it.
I know it ain't, but it slowed down anyway. Amazing.
It'll at least make us feel good. All right. I thank you, Larry. Thank you for the call. I want to talk about life right now. We kind of got backwards there. But pro-lifers do care about the babies, and that's just something that they want you to believe. Well, they need to be wanted. They need to be this, and they, you just don't want them to have an abortion, and then you walk off and leave them with these unwanted children. No. There are options. And there are clinics. We've talked to Vitae Society, Vitae Foundation. We've talked to some of the others in Life News. There are options. These women deserve better. They deserve more respect than just, let's just cut it out. The fourth lie, making abortion legal will only lead to back alley abortions. Well, that's what Ted Kennedy said when he was fighting against Bork for Supreme Court. The same Ted Kennedy that left a woman in the bottom of a river. Nobody ever mentions that. But did you know there are just as many women that die from abortions today? They don't want you to know that. Remember Dr. Gosnell? So many lies. Just to get the money. It's about money. Abortion is about money. It's about attacking a certain group of people, the poor people of the United States. Margaret Sanger was a white supremacist, and your Democrat Party idolizes her. She wanted to get rid of children that had defects. Down syndrome. If they weren't the right race, she wanted to get rid of them. They weren't smart enough. Large families needed to get rid of part of their children. Is that where we are today? Planned Parenthood's making money, and they're getting your tax dollars. GM takes and doesn't give back. It's time that you stood up and said, I'm done with you, and let's bring America home.